Yeah, and concerns from your last
Appearance.
appearance here. So let's go.
Okay.
Let's try to go through as many of them as possible. I'm trying to
Yeah.
start with the very first one. Good morning, Mr. Peter. Could you please ask the Honorable Minister what the government is doing to protect Ninichor Community Forest in Fonyi Brefet District? This is jointly managed by 5 villages, and the Alcalo of Besse is involved with some people in selling almost 35% of that forest, blocking the watering points for animals, which is leading to a conflict between herders and cultivators. Uh, we have reported this matter to the Ministry of Local Government and Lands, Department of Forestry, and to the Governor of West Coast Region. Still no response from the authorities.
No, I
Do
have.
you know this?
Yes,
Am I calling the name right?
yes,
Nini Chor?
Nini Chor, yes.
Okay.
I'm made to understand that the governor of the region has cautioned the
Usman Bojang?
yes, has cautioned the alleged culprits not to interfere with the community. I mean, with the community forest, and I think even the line ministry has also intervened because this is gazetted, so you cannot actually interfere with it unless it is degazetted by the government or deforested by the government. I don't know how the term they use, but unless it is degazetted, I guess you cannot, sell it. If you do so without proper authority, then it's null and void. That's what I'm made to understand.
Good morning, Peter. Well, with the Kotu Bridge, that is the road leading to the Combo Beach Hotel, be done. Again, a road has been made from Fajara Hotel area through the beach, and it stops at Destiny. It is short by 200 meters. Why have a new road that is short of the completed distance?
No,
Of the
it's,
complete
it's
distance?
500 meters actually. Just to assure the.
It should be 500 meters, or is it?
It is 500 meters.
No, he's saying it's short by 200 meters, so which means that.
From up to the bridge.
Yeah,
I mean,
no. The bridge is something else.
no, we start from.
They're
the-
asking, when will the Kotu Bridge, that is the road leading to the Combo Beach Hotel, be done? That's a question on its own.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. The Kotu Bridge, we have already, done the tender process. The contractor has been identified. We've written to the relevant authorities for no objection. The costing has been done. The study has been done. And hopefully, either before the end of this week or next week, we will sign the contract with the contractor. The partners are aware. Now, the particular road that he talked about.
Yes, this is from Fajara Hotel
From Hajar
through the
waterfront,
beach,
waterfront, yes,
and
going
it
all the
stops
way
at
to
Destiny.
BB.
I think Destiny is a nightclub.
It's a nightclub. No, it goes all the way to the BB Johnson. Behind the BB Hotel. That's 500 meters. That was the scope of the work because there is an existing road there which runs from the bridge. So what we have agreed is when we are doing the bridge, the contract will also include from the Battle Hardin Highway up to the bridge, then cross the bridge all the way to the BB Hotel and join with this particular junction where we end with the concrete road.
Okay, good morning, Uncle Peter. Indeed, I agree with my brother, the Honorable Minister, that his government has done many roads in connecting communities. However, there are still other strategic roads that need to connect more communities, especially in the West Coast region. Of particular interest to me is the road linking Jambur and Busumbala from Fantu Sonkos Junction all the way to the Sukuta Jambanjele Highway. He mentioned in his last appearance in this particular program that they will begin the construction of the road in October. I guess that's to allow the rains to stop. Now that the rain season is behind us, is that plan still on course?
No, this Jambur road from Busumbala going through Jambur to the Sukuta Jambanjele Highway, actually, which will join the Banyak to Kunkujang. That one is not part of the October works. It's part of the World Bank 500 kilometers to be studied, and then the 150 kilometers that are to be done in the country, 100 kilometers in the rural areas and 50 in the urban areas. So it's part of the 50 kilometers in the urban areas that we have identified. So we are waiting for the no objections of all the processes that we've started with the World Bank, and then the study will begin. So after this bankable study and the feasibility and the designs, then the tender will be launched because it's a World Bank project. Now, what I said about the Fansu Sonko Junction, that is the one coming from the old Yundum where we have the overpass, the bridge. There is, when you go into the old Yundum, there is a road that goes to the other end through and then join the the Sukuta Jabang Highway. We are doing that. But there is this Daru Busumbala one, which is about 5 kilometers from that end, or going all the way to Francis Sonko Johnson on the highway. We are doing that one now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be done this year.
Will it be prudent for the government to reintroduce the Public Works Department, PWD, PUD?
Well, a lot of things have changed because the concept of PWD then was
to maintain the roads.
Not only maintain the roads, but it involved also carpenters, plumbers, so that they can maintain government facilities, infrastructure and things like that. So what we have done is that cabinet approved the introduction of the facilities agency. A bill was already prepared, but we are thinking of minimizing agencies in the country where probably, if it is possible, we can join it with either a private sector, semi-private sector entity like GAMWorks, and then mix them so that they can be responsible for the maintenance works of public buildings and facilities like that. Now, what we have done as a government, the NRA today, the National Road Authority, is kind of like a newer version of what we used to have as the PWD, because the NRA has a maintenance unit that is very much likened to the PWD maintenance unit then for roads. And they, at the end of every rainy season, or before the start of every rainy season, will map out areas that have to be fixed, or sometimes during the rainy season also they can go and fix some critical areas. So government provides a budget for that. Before, it was a completely different setup because when the economic recovery program was instituted by the PPP government, PWD unfortunately was one of the institutions that was recommended for downsizing and eventually, kind of gotten rid of or transformed. And then GAMWorks came in then, although not a public agency per se, but it was set up with the support of the government to support public infrastructure maintenance and works. We have seen GAMWorks delivered a lot of innovative projects.
Sure.
And then came the NRA also through an act of parliament that really has transformed the sector.
Does the minister think that all services, not all, rail services, can solve some of our mass transport challenges, especially freight transport? We're a flat country, so the geography is amenable. In the past, I saw plans for a raised metro that will go in a loop from airport to Westfield and even traffic light junction. What happened to that plan?
Well,
did you know about this plan?
No, I've never seen this plan, although I have seen a plan which was to do a rail network from Kaur River all the way to Koungheul in Senegal to join it with the Senegal rail link. This was through the support of the Taiwanese Agency for Development during former President Jammeh's time, but it never kicked off. Although the study,
we kicked the Taiwanese out and brought in
the study was done. I read that particular document, and it was a very strategic route. It is very much similar to our transport master plan, resilience project that we want to do, because we have to admit that at the rate of urbanization in this country, the only solution that we have right now is mass transport, networks and initiatives, and this may include trams and also, other means.
Definitely trains.
Trains, yes. So really, this is something that we have to implement as a government. Other countries have hanging trains. Although here, with the way we constructed the house, is very close to the major highways, and also with the overhead cables of our electricity poles hanging everywhere, it needs a proper radical design.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Of course.
Once it
Or
absolutely becomes necessary,
we have to do something.
Something will be done.
Yeah.
Hello, Uncle Peter. Kindly ask the Honorable Minister, what are they doing to extend the Banjul-Dakar corridor to private companies? There are investors ready to invest in this sector, but it seems as GTSC is being protected. This is from Mamadou Diallo, messaging us from the Netherlands.
Well, the public transport company, the GTSC, was always part of a discussion point, during our presidential council meetings. And just like the Gambia, Senegal would also, support the Dakar Dem Dik. Now, we know that the private transportation networks are highly diversified. One of the challenges that we have, though, is on either side of the border, we have some kind of resistance from the unions. I mean, I remember that in 2022, someone bought some minibuses and vans to ply the route between Banjul and Dakar. And my understanding was that when they crossed the border, they were stopped by the unions because, according to them, for private transporters, they have to stop at the border, and then the vehicles, will end there. Then people will alight and then join, the private vehicles of either country. So that is one issue that we are in high discussions with under the Interstate Transport, initiative with our sister Republic of Senegal. It's an ongoing discussion anyway.
Good morning, Peter and Honorable Sillah. Looking at the current state of our roads, including some of the newly constructed ones, the Honorable Minister, or could the Honorable Minister tell us how he intends to pay for the maintenance of these roads? I'm asking this because the cost of road maintenance is derived from the road tax that we pay when purchasing fuel. However, we heard from the government of the central bank, or governor of the central bank sometime last year, that these funds, road tax derived from local fuel purchase for the next 5 years or more, are being committed for the funding of new roads in some form of a financial arrangement. We all understand that the poor condition of our roads is partly due to the poor maintenance system, even with this road tax on fuel in place. What will his ministry do without these funds being available to him for the next 5 years or more?
Well, we have had some positive discussions on this particular issue, and at any given time when the budget request comes from the NRA with a work plan and the cost estimates of the maintenance, the government responds, through an allocation from the Ministry of Finance or from the road fund. Sometimes we do that.
Okay.
And remember also, NRA has a monthly allocation, although this is still not enough, but they do manage sometimes to do some maintenance works.
Okay. Questions for the minister. The road of the coastal road overhead or flyover to Guigidaro Busumbala was started and never completed. Why? Will it ever be completed?
Yeah, no, that's the road that I was talking about earlier on. I mean, the contractor has, done all the artwork there, and then the rains arrived. So, unfortunately, you cannot do much during the rainy season. But hopefully, now that we are seeing that the rains are going down, although yesterday it was phenomenally huge, very, very heavy.
It was a deluge.
Very, very, very. So, it seems then we have to even look at our planning of road construction works in this country, because if we say early October and today is almost 14th and it's still raining, so we have to probably continue all the way to end of July, because our cycle is mid-July to end of September. That is the way we plan our road works. But now I think with climate change, we need to re-look into that.
Hi, Uncle Peter. Please kindly ask the minister, we the PAVI 4 workers haven't been paid for the remainder of our salaries.
Yes. I mean, this was brought to my attention last week. We called the contractor to find out why. And so the client, which is the government, is engaged in this matter because we don't owe the contractor. So we see no reason why they should owe the workers. Yeah.
This one says, hello, Uncle Peter. Can you please ask the minister about the Maria Makunda and Yuna Road? What about the Maria Makunda and Yuna Road?
Yeah, I mean, well, this is the particular road that we are doing right now. If the texter can have confirmed, we have gone all the way up to Maria Makunda now, up to base level, which means that after the rains, we can, seal it, with tarmac. Now, from there, I mean, the contract, because we are doing sectional completion with this contractor to say that, okay, we are giving you this month to this month to ensure that you finish this number of meters or kilometer on this road. And end of November, actually, is the first sectional completion of the task given to the contractor to finish a specific, number of kilometers on that road. So hopefully, I mean, you will see by end of this rainy season, the contractor will be mobilized there again.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Honorable Minister once said that they will put flyovers at certain places along the OIC road, but no sign is seen. Do they still maintain that, or are they going to continue cutting the main highway and allow people to pass there? Secondly, when will they install traffic lights at strategic places?
Well, to answer to his question, flyovers, we have done some benchmarking and studies within the region. And what we have discovered is that when you build pedestrian flyovers, over the major highway like the one we have, people don't normally use it. I mean, an example is if you're going to, if you are used to Dakar, from the Padua, where you have that big roundabout, going to the airport, the first airport, Port Sedat Senghor Airport, you will see that even in the middle they have put up barriers, high-end barriers to avoid people jumping over the median that is at the middle of the road, to cross to the other end, because a pedestrian flyover is there, but it's not being used. And sometimes, even if it is used, what we have discovered is some of the people with water bottles or with certain objects, they'll wait until they are on the middle of the road and they start dropping them on the road, breaking down, people's windscreens and things like that. So that is why we said we are going to do a test run and do all one for the time being, maybe around where you have the village and that new shopping center before the Senegambia, when you are coming from West Coast and going towards the Senegambia Hotel, to see to look at the behavioral pattern of the users of the road, whether they will use the highway, the flyover or not. If they don't use it, then we will continue where we have, sleeping policemen, as some people call it, humps, and then before you reach the hump as a driver, you will have a restraining barriers to so that, you are reaching a hump. And then after maybe some few meters after the hump, then you will have a pedestrian crossing on either side. So this is getting effective because since we have modeled this, we have not seen, accidents in those strategic areas where people cross. However, I have to admit that some people deliberately refuse to also use crossing points on the highway. They will just be looking at left, right, and and if they don't see any driver coming, they just rush and then stand on the median and then look again on the other side where the traffic is coming from. Then they try to cross again. This can be deadly because this is one area where people drive very fast.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have to pay attention to that.
Okay.